Hello, this is Dr. Sharita Weatherspoon, and I am here today with another one of our phenomenal contributing authors with the Love Letters to My Girls anthology, Frankie Roe. I am so excited to have her here with me and to share her with you. I'm sure that she's going to drop some gems today during our conversation. All of our interviews with the contributing authors have just been awesome. Some great information and tips and strategies have come out of those conversations. They have been, helpful to me personally in terms of, reminding me of my own power and the impact that, they anticipate this book having on the world. And it is, it's just a wonderful thing to know that people have joined up with you in partnership on your mission and in supporting what you're doing. And I'm so grateful for all of these authors. And just in case you don't know what this love letters thing is all about, let me just take a few seconds to explain it to you and make sure you're up to date with that. Love Letters to My Girls, 100 Black Women Speak to the Hearts of Black Women and Girls is an anthology project that is bringing over 100 Black women together who are going to use the written word to inspire, uplift, motivate, and empower other Black women and girls all around the world. This project is designed to, really reignite our sisterhood, to remind our sisters of how wonderful and powerful and valuable they are, to inspire them on their journey, and just to cheerlead and to push and, coach them forward as they go through the challenges and struggles of being a Black woman in this world. We want them to know that we love them and that we're here for them. And this book is just a very simple way to demonstrate that. It's accessible, and we're hoping that, women and girls, if they just need a little motivation, or even if they're ready to give up, that they can pick up this book, open up a page, read a love letter from one of our authors, and be encouraged to just keep going and to be who they are and to stand in their own power. So that's what we're looking to do with this project. We're going to need your support in making it happen, because we want to get this book into the hands of as many women and girls as we possibly can around the world. So we're going to be looking for your support in the way of donating books to organizations and groups that are serving Black women and girls, and also in helping to fund our scholarship fund. We want to award a minimum of 2 scholarships to 2 Black women, one under 21 and one over 21. And those funds would be able to be used for education, training, or business startup. So we're going to need your help with that. So to make sure that you keep up with what we're doing and find out how you can be a part of what we're doing, go to loveletterstomygirls.com and sign up for our newsletter so we can keep you up to date with where we're at. So right now we're going to jump into this conversation with Frankie. Frankie is a career coach and the owner of That Recovery Chick. Now, doesn't that sound intriguing? That Recovery Chick. I like that name. Now, I can't wait to hear more about what that is all about. So, Frankie, first, I just want to, again, welcome you and thank you for being here, for being a part of this project. And just start off by sharing with our audience who you are, what you do, and how you're impacting the world.
Well, first of all, let me say good morning to you.
Morning.
And my name is Frankie Roe, and I am I do have a day job. And my day job, I am a case manager, career coach, and an instructor. And so I work with women who are underserved or underrepresented, and men as well, and help them get into the medical field. Mm-hmm. So I teach different classes. I actually just started the job, and then now I'm telecommuting. So it's pretty interesting. Otherwise, I'm a career coach, and I work with women who are reentering society, that are in recovery, and just don't have the confidence that they need to move forward in a career path instead of getting stuck in a job. And so what I do is I sit with them and I figure out what are their desires, what are their skill sets, the things that they do naturally. And I take all of that and help them build a career based on all of their experience and everything that they have, everything that they've gone through. We use it, their next career path.
Okay. So it's very interesting that you're working as a career coach specifically with women in recovery. Talk a little bit about how you got to do that work.
So I am a woman in recovery, and in January, I just celebrated 11 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And in 11 years, you see a lot, you hear a lot in meetings. I go to retreats all over, conventions all over. I go to retreats, local retreats, and you get to meet women that are amazing women and have a lot to offer, and they are stuck. They get stuck. And I started noticing this, some ladies that I have good relationships with who are afraid to go back to school. They are, they might have put in for a promotion and didn't get it. And so they just stay where they are. And I started to take notice of this.
Okay.
And I was just like, you are amazing. And they would, be honest and say, you say that, but I really don't feel that way. And that broke my heart.
Right.
And because I could see it, but they couldn't see it, or they could see it, but because they had been rejected, they didn't move any further. And so I just decided, I said, this is a skill that I have. I've been a job developer. I've been a case manager. I've been in the social services field. And then it's just a natural gift. I would sit down with my friends and say, okay, what is it that you really want to do? So, and I would help them move through a process. I hadn't turned it into a process yet, but I would just walk them through asking them questions. And they would take the information that I gave them and run with it. And so they weren't necessarily in recovery. It was just people at the time.
Right.
So that was how it just kind of was a default. And so I said, you know what, I'm really going to run with this because I really feel like it's a need out there.
Yeah, that's really good. You mentioned, the lack of confidence. You're looking at these women and you're seeing how wonderful they are. Like,
amazing.
Girl, you're the bomb, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't see themselves like that at all.
Right.
And, that's one of the things that, we're trying to address in this book, helping Black women and girls to recognize the power that they have.
Right.
And even though other people in the world may treat you like you don't have it, don't believe they don't recognize that it's there.
Right. Right.
And they might call it something else.
Yes.
They might call it, you're aggressive, you're the B word or whatever. That's because they don't like what they see, but it doesn't mean that what they're seeing actually isn't a positive thing. The problem is that it's inside of you. That's what the problem is. But we need to help our sisters recognize that they have we have some innate things in us. As simply as women, and then as Black women, because of what we've had to go through and kind of the adaptation, like how life and nature in general, it adapts over years and time. So as Black women, as a subculture of the Black culture, we've adapted.
Yes.
To our situation. So there's some innate strength and resiliency and, power and leadership and all of that, that's just inside of us because of who we are.
Right.
And then there are some things, that we learn and develop over time from our education, our experiences, training, work, different ways we gather knowledge and skills. And we notice that people pull on it. You're getting asked to do this, you're getting asked to do that. People recognize it. But when you decide to stand in it,
right,
and then you start to demand a certain level of respect or a certain level of pay because now you recognize your value,
right,
the conversation changes.
Exactly. And that's what happened for me, is that I always had just this, like you said, innate sense of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I got told no so many times.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, really? But I'm a fighter. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the fight gets knocked out of them. And if I recognized it, I was like, oh my God, this is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Something that happens, it's real. You get told no so many times, or you start settling for lower level paying jobs. In my case, because I knew I could get them. I knew that there was something. It wasn't just, it wasn't just pie in the sky, that it was a real thing. And so I said, you know what? I am going to be that one that lifts these ladies up. And it's not just women in recovery. Obviously, I can work with anyone because I do. But this is a population that needs to be touched because they're sitting on gifts and talents and the world is missing out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what's good about that, you said, this is a population that needs to be touched, and it's because of that experience, what they experience to get to the point of being in recovery, right?
Absolutely.
Damages you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like, because I've gone through this, I've been this person, that now I'm less than and I'm not worthy. And, in many cases.
Right.
And someone has to come in and help rebuild them and help them to recognize their worth, and that who you were, while it helped to form who you are now, it's not who you are now.
Right.
Right. And in spite of the mistakes that you made, and in spite of that experience, if you're qualified for this job,
right,
and do this job, you deserve the job.
Right.
So let's go after the job. Let's make sure you're prepared to go after the job. And let's do, whatever work we might have to do to bridge any gap that exists there. If you're not quite ready for you, let's get you ready.
Absolutely.
But I love that you're working with that group of women. But I see, and you said this, you work with women outside of that recovery niche as well. But it's something that so many of us need, because we feel less than, or we're made to feel less than a lot of times. So then we start to believe that we are less than.
Right. And then the other thing that comes into play is that most women, they can't disclose, their recovery, because some women do well. They go to school and, they may get their bachelor's or their master's degrees in social work. And so, they're in this field and they have to tiptoe around. Like they go to meetings and sometimes they see their clients there. And so, it can be a double-edged sword. But at the same time, some women, a lot of women now are really starting to embrace it and letting their employers know, like, look, this is a part of my life. If this wasn't in my life, I wouldn't be here today.
Right.
I need to go to a meeting, or, I need to call my sponsor, or I need to do, to do this. And the ladies that have the opportunity to have that honesty with their supervisor, those are the ladies that flourish. And a lot of times, sometimes people can't, they cannot.
Right. That's really good. Really good. So I just love how, as we're talking and, the work that you're doing coming out and how much it's relating to what we're trying to do with the book. So let's actually transition and talk a little bit more about the book specifically and your role in it. What is your letter about?
My allergies, excuse me. So my letter is about don't settle. And again, for me, it was something that I had to remind myself. It's really a reminder to me as well, is don't settle. Keep going, because somebody's watching. And even if it's one person who decides that, you know what, I am going to change. I am not going to be stuck here. I'm not going to just do this job, or I'm not going to be in this career. I am going to start a business, or, whatever it takes, because I was the trailblazer, or I was the one who moved forward. It's really all about is don't settle.
Awesome. Awesome. So the reader, the woman who reads that letter,
Mm-hmm.
and we know the way the letters are written, you're not really telling your story, right? You might
Mm-hmm.
give some hints of your story, but it's really, focused on the reader and, compassionate, loving, and uplifting words. What would be the one core thing that you want a woman who reads your letter to take away from it?
The one core thing would be, it doesn't matter what you have done, how you've gotten into any type of situation, you do not, absolutely do not have to settle.
Mm-hmm.
Leave, you can walk away, period. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to stay in a job, you don't have to stay in a relationship, you don't have to stay in, a state. And that is state meaning physical state or
Right.
mental state, right?
Right.
You don't have to stay there. You don't have to settle for what comes your way or what someone gives you because you made a choice or a decision.
Mhm.
Change is possible.
That's good. That's good. Now, what made you join up with this project? 'Cause I know a little bit about your background and, some work that you've done with writing and books in the past. So you're probably a bit more discriminate than the average person
Right.
when joining up with a project like this. So what was it about this project that attracted you and made you want to be a part of it?
Well, it's actually really funny because I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm an author. I've written 3 books and published books. I was doing publishing and things like that. And so one of the things that I know that I'm supposed to be doing is writing. And so I have it has taken a back seat.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided when I saw this, I said, okay, okay, God, you're talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because years ago, I was working on a project very similar to this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was letters that I wanted specifically for mothers to write to their daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really did anything with it. I just haven't really did anything with it. And that, again, was because of being in recovery and meeting ladies, and a lot of the ladies, myself included, didn't have really strong relationships with our mothers, and then some with their daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard. It's really hard for a lot of the ladies, is that they don't have relationships with their daughters.
Right.
And it's estranged, I mean, some of these ladies have 10, 15 years clean and still don't have relationships with their daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I just was like, wow. And my daughter and I, we have it's a pretty good relationship. It's not strong like I would like for it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm rebuilding a relationship with my mom. And so for me, it says, if I'm not going to move this other project forward, at least I can be a part of something that can still speak to women and let them know, all of these different subjects hit different areas, and so I wanted to be a part of something that I knew could reach different women in different places. I love stories and I love letters. And the reason why I love them is because when we are all gone, when every contributor in this project is gone, somebody is going to pick this book up, and it could change the trajectory of their life.
Yes. Absolutely. I love it. And I don't know, I'm not sure how we connected because people got to this project in multiple ways, and most of the people I've never talked to before, or even connected with on Facebook. But that was one of the things that I said in doing the information calls on the project, that, you know, this really is legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that every woman that's a part of the project, but then every woman who reads the book, every girl that reads the book recognizes the legacy that is in between those pages.
Right.
And, you know, says, I'm going to hold on to this book. Like, this isn't a book that just gets stuck on the shelf, that it's out there. They're flipping through it when they're going through something. You know, it's a go-to thing for them to pick up and read. You know, it's on their coffee table. You know,
Right.
their daughter turns 16, they give them a copy or give them their copy. You know, when that
Right.
daughter grows up and, you know, has her daughter, or, you know, daughter-in-law, whatever the case may be, you know, she's handing down a copy to that
Right.
woman, or that girl. And recognizing that we as individuals may not always have the words to say,
Mm-hmm.
or the experience that we can speak from to
Right.
another woman or girl in our life that we want to help in some way. This book can be that resource.
Yes.
Yes. So yes, that, I mean, given your background and experience, I'm honored that you chose to be a part of this project. Because like I said, you know, you're going to look at it with a different perspective than,
Right.
you know, a woman who hasn't written before, or hasn't published a book before, or published books from others. So again, very honored that you chose to be a part of this project.
I'm so honored to be a part of it. You know, this is, you know, what I think about this is that it's a love movement.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the world needs, is love. You know, right now there's so much going on, and, you know, there's a lot to be said about, you know, people who are moving forward and doing the things that they need to do. And a project like this that is sharing and spreading love is something that needs to go forth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. So thank you again. I appreciate all of your kind words.
Absolutely.
Yes. So as we come to the close of this interview, I want to, you know, just one more time remind the viewers about the Love Letters to My Girls project, and ask you to join with us in helping us to get this book into the hands of as many women and girls as we can,
Yes.
to share about this project. You can go to loveletterstomygirls.com to sign up for our newsletter, to stay up to date with what we're doing, and to be alerted to the different opportunities for supporting this project. But share that website with your, you know, your friends, your network,
Absolutely.
your family as well, and ask them to sign up. And then when we put out the call of action to you, you know, to either purchase books, or to support the donation of books, or to help us with the scholarship fund, please do that.
Please.
Do that. I mean, we obviously we want to sell books, right? But beyond that, we want to make sure that Black women and girls who need this book, who aren't able to purchase it for themselves, will still have access to the book. And that's where we're going to need your help in making that happen. So please visit loveletterstomygirls.com and check us out there. You can also find us on social media, on Facebook and Instagram at Love Letters to My Girls. So like and follow us and share and just support us. And you don't have to be a Black woman to do that.
Right.
Let me be clear about that. So I don't really care what race or ethnicity you are. If you believe in the value and the power of Black women, you recognize our value, you recognize our struggle, and you want to be supportive of us finding and making and staking our claim on space in this world, we need your support.
Right.
And the best way you can do that is to help us get the word out about this project. and then to help us get this book into the hands of Black women and girls who need it most around the world. So again, loveletterstomygirls.com and Love Letters to My Girls on Facebook and Instagram. Now, Frankie, before we go, I want to ask you to just share some encouraging words to our viewers. It could be directed just to women, but it doesn't have to be. I'm sure whatever you say, whoever is watching will be able to get something from it.
Right. Well, I love to tell people that they are amazing, simply because they don't recognize their amazingness, if that's a word. It's going to be a word today. How about that? And that you are loved, and just to trust your instinct. I think that a lot of times we don't trust our instinct. And if you can trust that small voice and that instinct, go with it. Don't run from it. Don't be afraid of it. You don't even have to talk to anybody else about it. Just go with it. And if you feel like you need to talk to somebody about it, talk to someone that's positive, talk to someone who's kind, talk to someone who's loving, get a coach. They are going to help you pull that out. Do not be afraid, and go with it, and don't stay stuck. And so that's what I would have to say.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I like that, trust the still small voice inside of you. That's your power speaking.
Right.
And trying to guide you. And I think what's so important about that is the recognition that you are enough as you are, and everything that you need for today, right now, is already within inside of you. And if you can tune into that, you won't be steered in the wrong direction.
Right.
And
absolutely.
When you need the additional help and support, that you seek someone out who has your good in mind. So not, sometimes you'll have friends who they're your friend, but they're also kind of competitive with you. That's not the person you want to go to.
Right. In the program, and in the program, we say, like, when you choose a sponsor, you say that person has something that I have that I want.
Right.
And so you ask that person to be your sponsor because you like their recovery, you like how they're living, and you do the steps. And so that's the same thing. It's like that person has something that I want, and so I want it. I'm going after it, and I'm going to get it. And so it just makes it, it's one person helping another.
Right.
Get to where you're going.
Right.
It's siloed. You can't do it by yourself. Even if you're telecommuting, get on the phone, someone, get on YouTube, do something, get information than what you currently have.
Yes. Good stuff, Frankie. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I appreciate your time again today. Appreciate your participation in the project and the value that you're bringing to the project. And for all of you who have been watching us on these videos, we thank you for your support and ongoing support as well. We wish you peace and blessings, and we wish you health in the midst of everything that's going on.
Absolutely.
Stay well and use wisdom.
Right. And wash your hands, please.
Yes. And keep doing that when the outbreak is over. Okay.
Right.
That's not a trend. That's something we should be doing. Anyway.
Right.
All right. So everyone, be well. We appreciate you. Peace and blessings.